Most of our best performing recent videos have been to do with wages or finances, so it's clear that you lot are obsessed with money. Anyway, after our 7 best paid players in the Championship video, a few people asked us to take a look at the best paid players in Leagues 1 and 2. However, they're all just Blackburn and Wigan players, so it makes for pretty drab reading. A slightly more interesting 7, we thought, are the 7 best paid players in non-league football. Just to make it clear, when we say non-league, we mean any English league outside of the Premier League, the Championship, and Leagues 1 and 2. Here are the 7 best paid non-league players. Roger Johnson, £1,500 a week. There are a handful of non-league players tied on £1,500 a week, but the one we've chosen to include in 7 is Roger Johnson. The 34-year-old centre-back was playing for West Ham in the Premier League and the League Cup semi-final in 2014. Albeit not very well, but is currently plying his trade in the National League with Bromley. The former Wycombe, Cardiff, Birmingham and Wolves stalwart had a spell in India recently, but is now a regular for the National League's 7th place side. Charlie Lee, £1,600 a week. Versatile former Tottenham trainee Charlie Lee left League 2 side Stevenage to join Leyton Orient in the summer, becoming one of the best paid players in the National League in the process. The central midfielder has previously had lengthy stints with both Peterborough United and Gillingham and was a regular in the Championship 7 years ago. James Constable, £1,600 a week. Tied with Charlie Lee on £1,600 a week is Eastleigh forward James Constable. A striker who has bounced between League 1 and the Conference for most of his career, Constable has played for the likes of Walsall and Oxford United. He has been with Eastleigh since 2014 though, where he began with 2 bright seasons at 10 acres. The last 2 have been rather less impressive however, and the hard-working striker has scored only 2 goals in 23 games this season. Jobi McAnuff, £1,750 a week. A Premier League player as recently as 2013, former Jamaican international Jobi McAnuff has suffered a rather rapid descent through the divisions. Once of Crystal Palace, Watford and Reading, McAnuff was a pacey winger, and at 36, much of that pace has deserted him. He's still a talented left winger though, who ought to stand out in the National League. The second Orient player in this 7, their big money players aren't doing them much good, as the club languishes in 19th place in the division formerly known as the Conference. Reda Johnson, £1,800 a week. It's 2 apiece for Leyton Orient and Eastleigh in this 7, with another man with international and Championship experience coming in at 4th. The best paid player in the National League, Reda Johnson picks up a cheeky £1,800 a week at Eastleigh. A big centre-back who is a force in the air but rather injury prone, he has previously turned out for the likes of Sheffield Wednesday and Coventry City. Eastleigh's big earners don't seem to be doing them much good either, currently sitting in 12th place, 13 points behind league leaders Macclesfield Town. Jamie O'Hara, £2,500 a week. In 2nd place we go from the National League to the Isthmian League Premier Division, the 7th tier of English football. Free-spending Billericay Town have raised 1 or 2 eyebrows in non-league football as their controversial owner Glenn Tamplin looks to put the team on the map. Tamplin made his money in the steel industry, but is now spending it on ageing footballers looking for one last payday, whilst telling people who say mean things about him on Twitter to jump off bridges. Had this 7 been made a couple of months earlier, Paul Konchesky would feature here too, but in 2nd place is Jamie O'Hara. The once highly regarded Tottenham and Wolves midfielder is now 31, and his appearance on Celebrity Big Brother should give some indication as to how his career is going. The former England youth international has a clause in his contract which would allow him to leave Billericay freely should a Premier League or Championship club come in for him. Yeah, I think the Essex club should be alright on that front. Jermaine Pennant, £3,000 a week. In top spot, on £3,000 a week, is former Arsenal and Liverpool wide man Jermaine Pennant. Capped 24 times by England's under-21s, Pennant played the full 90 minutes in a Champions League final against AC Milan a little over a decade ago. He has had stints in both India and Singapore recently, and is naturally a shadow of the player he once was. He's still a tricky winger with a decent cross on him though, and he ought to be the best player in England's 7th tier, even at 34. It's quite possible that Pennant is on less than £3,000 a week, having left Billericay for a couple of days recently before rejoining the club. Their owner and manager Mr Tamplin claims Pennant rejoined for less money, but as we are using the same source for all our salaries quoted, he takes top spot. Billericay are currently second in their division, although they have 7 games in hand on the league leaders. So that's it for our top 7, but the other players tied with Roger Johnson on £1,500 a week can be found in the video description below. Thanks for watching, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to HITC Sevens. And if you're really a fan of the channel, remember to check out our Facebook page for all new videos and other content. A link to that page can be found in the video description.